Hey guys, what's going on here? Nav coming at you with a video today. I wanted to show you a deck profile of a deck that I actually play a lot. It's one of my favorite decks since it ever came out, and it's actually Vegeks, as you can see. This deck I've played since it came out. I've topped with it multiple times at my locals. I do really well with it, and I always, I've played it since the beginning, since it came out. So I've played roughly about every version of it. And I think honestly, it's one of the easiest decks to play in the meta. And so let's review it. So basically, this leader is from a starter or structure deck, whatever. You can only play black cards. That's the permanent. A lot of people hopefully try not to forget that. Has an active main. You burst 5 to draw a card, and then you can awaken if you have 20 or more cards in your drop area. Then you just take up to just take enough life till you go to 6, or if you have 4 or less life, you can untap and draw. So the deck is very aggressive. The deck is very aggro. It gives you so many free plays, and that's one of the reasons why I play it. So I think this deck's just still amazing, even with the hit. So on the Awaken side, Vegeks, the Yunsen fusion hero, still same permanent. You can only play mono black cards. Sparking 20. So basically, if you think that you were gonna mill yourself out, due to his ability and other cards that allow you to send cards from the top of your deck to the drop area, you actually just shuffle everything back in and just continue the game. So there's no way to really mill this guy out unless you miscalculate. And he has a pretty cool active main that you're able to draw 1 card, then you place the top 5 cards of your deck to the drop area to give one of your black unison cards double strike. So I think everyone knows exactly which ones we're gonna play. So let's move on to the deck list. So what I do is I play 4 of this guy, SS Gotenks Fusion Friendship, standard. If he gets milled out from an effect from the top of the deck by one of your effects, you free play him, you put a marker, he has a +2, you pitch a card, give him 10k power, and for the -4, which is really amazing, he will get 20k dual attack. So he becomes a 25k dual attack, and then with your leader giving him double strike, you have a 25k dual attack double strike. And this can happen really early. This can happen on turn 3, turn 4. This deck is just a really rush down deck. So we'll get that out the way. The standard cards you're gonna play. You're gonna play 4 of the Supreme Kai of Time. So if she gets milled out, you play her for free as well. And she's one of your pseudo combos that if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, she gains an extra 5k. So she's a 10k combo. So this card's really amazing. You guys already know, like I said, more standard stuff. The Time Agent Vegeta, he gets played out for free if you do your leader's effect or other effects that sends him from the deck to the drop area. And he does have a permanent that if he is to be removed from the battle area, he goes to the warp. So this means you cannot combo with this card in the battle area, because as soon as you remove him from the battle area and try to put him to the combo area, that's, the permanent's gonna send him out. So you cannot combo with this guy. Just try to remember that. And he also has an active battle that I don't really do it a lot, but it really is essential depending on the type of decks you're playing against. For 2 energy, you get to warp a battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less from the opponent's side of the board. So it's really, really amazing. It's really good. I've had people, drop same combo on me. They're trying to double strike me for game. They're pushing so hard, and I think they just forget that Time Agent Vegeta just has this really cool active battle. I paid 2 and got rid of it. So they wasted a lot of resources. They wasted an energy. They just waste a lot of plays for this. So this card's really amazing. This card's really cool. And then also play Time Agent Trunks. He has unique as well. He's a blocker. If he gets free played from the, basically from the deck to the drop area, you get to play him for free. You can add up to 1 life if you want to. And he is a blocker. So you can choose, when you want to protect your guys, when you want to protect yourself. So he's really essential. He's really good for defense. And we're going to play 4 of the Dark Power Blackman same. This card is amazing. I think as this game continues to evolve, this guy continues to stay. He's a very old card many sets ago, and he's just still active. He's still prominent. He's still dominant in these decks. So basically, he's a 1-drop, and he has an auto that when he attacks, you'll take a life. You'll add 1 card, 1 life to your hand, and he gains 10k, so he's a 15k attacker. And then what really, so that helps you self-awaken. And then what really makes him really, really powerful is his auto. Basically, when the opponent plays a battle card with 15 power or less using a non-keyword skill like auto, for example, you're going to make the opponent discard 2 cards from their hands into the drop area. So this punishes a lot of decks. You know, this hurts, I think it hurts like U9 Assemble. This hurts, it just hurts a lot of decks. It's really, really strong. This does not affect Successor. This does not affect Swap. So I just try to mention that because people in the comments get at me a few times, and it doesn't hurt cards that have keywords that are printed in red and whatnot. So just remember that. But or like any super combo that brings out battle cards, that's an auto, this was gonna trigger. So please just know that this card does not affect counters as well, unless the counter has some kind of auto where it's gonna play something. So this is really, really great. What I play here is actually just 2 Son Goku True Fighting Spirit. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I do not have the other 2. And if I do have the other 2, I want them to be just as shiny as this guy. So this dude is really amazing. This Goku is a 1-drop with deflect, so he's unaffected by counters. So when he comes out, it doesn't mean anything. Your counter plays don't do anything. So basically when he attacks, you take a life as well, similar to the Dark Power Blackman Sane. And he gains 10k, so he's a 15k. But his auto is what really keeps him really, really powerful. So basically, once per turn, if your leader card is a Black Sane card, when your opponent activates a counter, they have to warp 1 card from their hand. So if you have these 2 guys on board and they activate a counter, that's 2 cards they have to warp from their hand. And this is during either player's turn. So if they play a counter on my turn, they warp a card. If I try to count, you know, if they play a counter on their turn, they have to warp a card. So this card is really amazing, really strong, really powerful. I really love it. Up next, we're gonna play 2 Haru Shun. What is it? What's that say? Shun Sister. So this card is a double striker. It's a 1-drop 5k, but technically with your Unison on board, this is a 1-drop 15k double striker. So as soon as she just comes out, she's just ready to attack. This is just one of my double strikers here that I use. I have a lot of double strikers in the deck. So really strong, really powerful. You know, she's really easy to play. For my super combos, I actually just play 2 of both of these guys. So I play 2 of the SS Vegeta, the Prince Strikes Back, you know, just to filter out my hand, put a card under it that I don't need, maybe an extra card, maybe my hand a little clunky with 10Ks or something, and then just, you know, recycle some cards back in. And then with Bibbidi is awesome. Even with the nerf, you know, with the whole errata that they did with him, it does not, it should not be a reason to get rid of him. This card is still amazing. This card is technically a 15k combo card in your hand. So when your opponent does a super combo or something, cool, I'll just drop to this. Now my leader is a 30k. I survive, you know, giving my leader an extra 15k power, combo power. So these 2 cards are really good, really essential. I think this is all players' preference. If you want to play 4 of this so you can get the draw power, that's fine. If you want to play this just to be a little bit more aggressive, it actually kind of helps out too, because there's times that this is an option, by the way, when you put the card under the draw 2, you don't have to. You'll still get the 10k when you have 4 or less life. But let's say you're trying to, you know, you have a big hand and you're trying to water down on your hand, bring the hand down, so then your Kais are now active. Then you would definitely want to start comboing off with these guys, since Bibbidi's not going to let you draw. So this is really good. It kind of checks for the whole requirements for the Supreme Kai time. Okay, and then when I play as well, I play all my double strikers right here. You know, the Champa, you play 4 Champas, you can play 4 East Kai. And I know the East Kai, you got to declare it. So please just remember that. This gives any attacking card double strike and 10k combo powered. So I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you're really rushing down. This deck is really aggressive. It's really fast, really strong. You can win on from turn 2 to turn 3, you know. Now we're going to go into my overrounds. I actually play 3 Revivedravager Vegeta. This card is really amazing early game. Has critical over round 3. When you play them, you're going to send the top 3 up to the top 3 cards of your deck to the drop area. So it kind of recycles. So one thing is, usually most of the times when you're doing your leader's effect, at least 1 to 2 of your cards are going to get played, which means that there's 3 in the drop area. You play this, recycle. You got a critical attacker just putting on pressure. In early game, this is definitely what you want to do early game. You know, if you do this on your turn 1 to your opponent, when you swing, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them. They're going to take the hit. There's no way they want to try to out-combo this. So this is really, really good. And they lose 2 life from it. Another Overwhelm card I play is 2 Secret Identity Mass Sane. This card is just amazing as well. This controls the board. This gets rid of tokens. This gets rid of battle cards, you know, and cost of 6 or less, well, up to. So you can choose multiple cards. Overwhelm for 6. It's a little hefty, but with this deck, it's not that difficult and it's not that hard to actually get to it. So this is a little board control. Wow, okay. Forget it. Just forget it. Another Overwhelm card I play, I think everybody was waiting for this, was the Demon God Damigra True Power Unleashed. So this card is really amazing. You're not going to play it in every one of your matchups. You're going to play this against decks that try to go for the long run, like blue decks, red decks as well. That's not Broly, you know, like a Bulma deck or something, or a Reboot hit. You want to play it against decks like that. I would say like decks that are like kind of like tier 2 or less. I think like tier 1 decks that like really rush just as fast and have a lot of control. They have better answers to this than you do. But definitely this card has Dark Overwhelm for 2. It has Overwhelm as well, but you never want to do that. Dark Overwhelm for 2. So when it gets played, you draw a card and you get to warp one of your opponent's battle cards. So this also checks the board, and then whenever he attacks, the opponent has to warp a card from their hand. So they warp a card from their hand. This is 30k. They're going to have to try to out-combo this. They're going to waste a good super combo and maybe 2 super combos on top of the card that they just warp. Or if they don't have super combos, then they got to get rid of like what? 25, 35. They have to get rid of a total of 4 cards for comboing, like 5k combos. And then that doesn't even include the card that you warp from their hands. So this card puts on a lot of pressure. Usually I play this card early game. I really do. Like literally I would play this on my turn 2 and just start popping off. It's too early for the opponent. They have a hard time. They're getting stressed out. They got to use their, they got to use their resources to get rid of this card. I also play for my last Overwhelm cards. So this one's also just player preference. This is Mirror CreatorAbsorb. This card's very old, but he has an Overwhelm of 4 for 1 energy, and he has Deflect. So he's unaffected by counter cards when he gets played. This card will counterplay cards when he gets played. So this card, bypasses God's Healing Trunks. This card bypasses the SS4 Vegeta that puts it in rest mode. This card is unaffected by Yamcha, and he's a 30k. So basically his auto is whenever he attacks, when he attacks, he gains 5k for each card in the warp. So super late game, if you're trying to go for game and this is one of your game enders that you want to push for, this is definitely the guy you want to bring out. You really want to bring this out. Drop a Champa. You're gonna reach close to 100k for combo power, and that's not even before you combo with whatever you have in your hand on board. So this is one of truly strong end gamers. For the secret, this one as well, like I said, player preference. If you have the Kai, the new Supreme Kai time, play her over this guy. This guy's just for the long game. That's if you ever go to turn 5. If you see this card in your hand and you feel like you're gonna rush down before going into turn 5, charge him or use him for a combo or pitch him for effects. Don't just hold this guy because he's your only secret and you just want to reach the turn 5. That's not what you want to do with this deck. You want to push as hard as you can. This is for the long run. Like, okay, we're going to go to turn 5. Okay, fine. I'll play this guy. So he is an ultimate with triple strike. And when he comes out, you cannot play, battle cards on your board. Hold on, let me read this, make sure I get this right. Yeah, so basically when he comes out, you can't play any more battle cards, and you cannot combo with cards that are on your board, including himself. And he cannot be removed by it cannot be removed by skills. So the opponent really has to just push over to kill this guy. And he has an active main for 5 energy that if all your energy is the same color, which it's black, you're gonna untap 2 of your energy. You're gonna first draw 2 cards, then switch up to 2 of your energy. Then the opponent warps 2 cards from their battle area and 2 cards from their hand. So this card is awesome. If your opponent, by the way, God's Healing Trunks this goes back to your hand and you still continue to do the active main, just to let you guys know that. This card is just really, really great. It's really cool for the long run. Like I said, it's not a card that you really want to play. If you have them early game and you want to charge them, nobody's going to get mad at you for that. And just for my extra cards, I play 3 Majin Buu Human Extinction Attack. So this is really good up against, this is really, really good if you're going up against green, to be honest with you, out of all the colors. But I still play this because I want to maybe dump out some extra more cards so then I can continue my sparking. It gives your battle card or leader card 15k if all your energy is black, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards from the drop area and warp it, so you can get rid of the Great Saiyan Instincts, the apes, you can get rid of rebrands, you can get rid of anything that activates in the drop area. This can actually help you too with launch. I just realized that. So you can get rid of their launches in the drop area, so now they can't combo with it anymore because now it's in the warp. So this is really good. It's a really cool card, really fun card. But if you're playing against like a blue deck or something that doesn't really care about the drop area, then it's okay to charge this card. And then for my last card I play is 4 Power Burst. So I think everyone knows what this card does. If your leader's black, you negate the card and you get to add a 1-drop from your drop area or your warp. So it's pretty cool. And sparking 5, which is not difficult, it lets you play it for free. So this is the deck. This is the deck that I have fun with. I really like this deck, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. And if you want to see some more content, just subscribe to my channel. And have a good day, guys. You guys take care.